So now I know it all. And what I know disgusts me. Oh dear, Francis. You live through your ordinary little day and fall asleep to dream your ordinary, carefree little dreams through the course of the peaceful, undisturbed night. But then, I brought nightmares to your mind. Do you deny it? The world is hell, Francis. And the crowning glory of hatefulness in this world is man.
Junk Food Dinner 697. Your boys are back to discuss 3 wild films this week. First, a cat tries to solve a string of murders in Felidae. Next, a murderer named Young Channi possesses a doll in Papi Gudia. Finally, Piccolo and Gohan must stop the Red Ribbon Army in Dragon Ball Superhero.
When was the last time you did any kind of training? What if some new world-ending evil shows up?
Welcome to Junk Food Dinner, episode 697. This is the podcast where each month we scour the internet, the theaters, and the bargain bins, searching for the weirdest and wildest cult films. In Ohio, I am Kevin Moss, and I'm joined by my California co-hosts Parker Bowman in the 559 and Sean Byron in LA. This month, we have a couple of cartoons and an Indian Child's Play ripoff. I'll let you decide which is which as we take a look at Felidae from 1994, Papi Gudia from 1996, and Dragon Ball Superhero from 2022. But first, my boys, how you been?
Hey, I've been doing good. Myself?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Prove it.
Well, I will prove it. I went to go see Friday the 13th, part 3 and 4.
Oh, nice. Yes.
In a movie theater. I've
Yeah.
never seen those ones. I got to check them off the list.
Hell
In terms
yeah.
of big screen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day they were showing Saturday the 14th, I'm assuming.
No, that would have been sweet. I would have checked that out too. I would have stuck around for that. But,
Yeah, well,
no, it was great. You saw it too, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th, this last Friday. And yeah, it was, did you see him at the Regal Cinemas? Is that where you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed so.
Regal was playing, part 3, because there was a Friday the 13th last month too, and they played part 1 and 2, and then this month they are doing 3 in 3D, which is fun. They did that back in October too as part of their like Halloween programming, but I didn't catch it in October, so I'm glad I got to catch it this time around. Because it was fun to see that in real D 3D technology.
Yeah, it was like seeing it A on the big screen and then B in such high definition and in 3D. Like it really gives you like a new perspective on that movie. Like it's like a very pretty movie. Like there's like a lot of shots where like there's like foreground stuff and background stuff. There's like a lot going on in the frame, like more so than you would think for like growing up watching it on a 17-inch TV or whatever, like, which is how I always see the Friday the 13th movies in my mind. But yeah, they were both very good looking. The 3D was great too.
Yeah, the 3D looked great, and I did have to chuckle every time there was like, because that movie is filled with some, blatant 3D stuff where it's just like a stick in your face or I'm juggling into the camera.
Check out my new yo-yo.
Yeah, exactly. And that did elicit a nice reaction from the audience every time one of those happened, because it did. I mean, that stuff in good 3D was pretty effective.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and all like the theme park, versions of this, they all do that kind of a thing because it does really work. Did you guys
Captain
get to
EO?
well, yeah, totally. Did you guys get to keep your glasses like Freddy's Dead style, or they were just the generic ones?
Yeah, they're just the generic ones that you would get at any 3D movie, which I'm surprised. I mean, it doesn't seem like they do a lot of 3D movies anymore. I know things like Avatar and sometimes some of the bigger Marvel movies will have a 3D option if you have a theater that accommodates, but I don't feel like I see it nearly as much as I did like 10 years ago.
You would think that they could like just throw a sticker on these and let you keep them for an upcharge or something like that, but
Yeah.
maybe next time.
Yeah, I mean,
You can keep them if you want. I don't think there's anything stopping you.
I think I did do that the first time I saw a 3D movie with Real D or whatever. I didn't know that you had to return them.
Well, there's just a little recycling bin, and I'm sure they get, washed and repackaged.
Yeah. Have you ever met anybody that's got their own set of Real D glasses that they've bought because maybe they're concerned about scratches on the lenses or anything like this?
I don't know about that, no. I mean, I knew a few people that had 3D TVs, and when those were kind of popular around the same time that 3D was coming back in theaters, and those were interesting because the glasses themselves were like a little bit more high tech. They had like, I remember like you had to put like a AAA battery in it, and it was fairly like a little bit more heavy duty than the ones at the theater, but it worked pretty well.
Nice. I wonder if if there's going to continue to be a market for 3D movies at all. It seems like it has died off a lot, and maybe like VR is the game for that, right? Like, why would you need this kind of half immersive experience if you get fully immersed instead?
Yeah, which is a shame because I really appreciate some fun 3D effects, and if you do get a chance to see, especially like an older movie that was shot for 3D in new modern 3D, it actually works really well. Like I've seen Creature from the Black Lagoon a couple times in the modern Real D, and it looks amazing. And there's a few that will come up from time to time.
What was that one? The Mask?
Yeah, The Mask.
That was cool.
I would love to see that, but I've never seen that. I mean, I've seen it in like the red and blue 3D on my TV, but never proper 3D. So that would be fun. But yeah, stuff like that is great. And there's a company called the 3D Film Archive that has been doing a great job of like restoring those and making prints available, like digital copies in Real D for theaters. But, you have to be a pretty specialized theater to pick up on those.
Yeah, well, maybe someday when we get off our ass and start, the junk food cinema that we've all been talking about, we'll make sure that we're equipped for that format.
Yeah, I would love to go to like a 3D movie marathon, like an all-day thing of like, especially if it was like cool 3D movies like, Creature from the Black Lagoon, but even like some of the more sleazy stuff that came out during like the 3D revival, like that Nurse 3D or like that
Piranha.
Piranha 3D or stuff like that.
Be honest, Kevin, you just want to see the avatars. All three of them in a row. I would be careful, though, what you wish for. I feel like an all-day 3D festival, you might end up like I did when I rented the Virtual Boy as a kid, with a splitting headache,
Oh, for sure. That's definitely a possibility. But hey, those are the things you got to do for science.
All right, yeah. You're a brave man.
What about you, Sean? You get out to the theater at all? See anything interesting on at home?
Nothing at the theater, but speaking of bravery, I did see a baseball squad from Venezuela overcome the great Satan of America in the World Baseball Classic, so that was fun.
That was exciting.
What a weird, you can't even write this stuff anymore, right? Like, what a weird world we live in where it's like, you kidnap the president of a country and then they beat you in America's pastime, like a month later.
Yeah. Well, I was just psyched for Suarez because he's a Cincinnati Red. So as much as I hated to see America lose, I was psyched to see Suarez and hope he can bring some of that action to the Reds this year. So
yeah, key runs in the last 2 games for Suarez. So he's probably MVP, I would say.
Absolutely.
Other than that, not much. Sumo's on. It's the March tournament, so I've been watching that.
Hell yeah. Well, nice. Well, yeah, I've gotten out to the theaters a couple times since the last time I talked to you. I heard you guys talk about The Bride on the last episode. I saw that. I agree with you, Parker. It's a mess. It's wild. It's crazy. But I think I enjoyed it certainly more than you did. I still, trust me, I can totally agree. There's a lot wrong with it, and it's trying to do way too much. But I think I liked more than I didn't like. So I think overall I had a fun time. We saw that in IMAX by ourselves. Like literally nobody else was in there. It was amazing. And it was like a huge theater. I mean like multiple 100-seat theater and only one's in there.
I like that kind of hustle.
Yeah, so that was a new experience.
It's like I'm a little sad that it bombed so hard because it's like I feel like people should go to the movies to see Frankenstein and stuff like that if nothing else. But my theater was empty too. I didn't see it in IMAX though. But yeah, it's a little sad.
But yeah, I had 2 IMAX experiences this month, and just yesterday I went and saw Tommy, the Ken Russell, The Who musical Tommy in IMAX. They re-released it for 2 days only on IMAX screens, and man, talk about a weird movie to see in IMAX. But it was a lot of fun, and that was not empty. That was a pretty packed house. You know, I think that brought the boomers out. But it was a ton of fun, man. And it was like super loud. It looked really good. Oliver Reed going nuts and, Elton John. And it was, of course, Tina Turner and Margaret, it was a really fun movie to see that large and in charge. So, and the new restoration, I assume it was a new restoration, looked very good. So,
damn, dude, I'm jealous on that one. I love seeing any kind of like classic rock movie on the big screen. I think the last one I saw was that Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii concert.
Yeah.
And it is just so much fun. And Tommy, I've only ever seen at home. So
yeah,
I'm kind of bummed I missed that.
It was a good time. And then speaking of rock, I saw a rock doc. I saw the Many Lives of Q Lazarus, the documentary about Q Lazarus, the woman that sang most famously Goodbye Horses, the song that's used in Silence of the Lambs. But they made a whole documentary about her. She's had a very interesting life, and like kind of how she got discovered is very interesting, and how she kind of faded into obscurity is also very interesting. And then, it was really good to see. It came out a couple years ago, but Justin played it on the big screen, so that was cool to see. Have you guys seen that yet? I think it's on the Criterion channel or streaming somewhere.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I have not.
It's a quality doc, and I was just saying the other month I want to see more docs, so that's a good new doc to check out. And then the other night I got a chance to see Gamera versus Baragon on the big 1966 on the big screen, and that's another one where I had only, because as you guys know, I'm a Godzilla's-man. I love Godzilla. I've never really got too much into Gamera, but I had seen this one before a couple times actually, because one, it was featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I had watched it on VHS back in the day, and both those are of very poor quality and dubbed very goofily, and it just makes it seem like, complete schlock. But watching it on the big screen in its original Japanese language and like seeing it in high definition, I'm not saying it makes it fucking Citizen Kane or anything. It's still a fucking Gamera movie, but I was actually really impressed at how good it looked and how kind of like, oh, this is an actual movie. It's not just like some goofy horse shit. So I had a lot of fun seeing Baragon launch his giant rainbow of death. So that was fun.
I love those 60s Gamera movies, but you're totally right. Like, I think Toho probably recorded in-house the dubs for their Godzilla movies, and they had like competent enough actors doing that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Daiei just kind of let the distributors do whatever they wanted. And I remember seeing this dubbed for the first time and it being hilarious. But I've seen it in recent years, with subtitles, and it's a cool movie, man. Like I've always loved those Daiei kaiju movies. They're a little bit cheaper than the Toho ones,
for sure.
They get all the charm, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Arrow Video put those out.
Yeah, the box set.
Yeah, a while ago. I never picked it up, but yeah, after seeing this, I might think about it.
The 90s movies are good too, so
I've heard that.
yeah, they're worth checking out.
Very nice. Well, you want to find out what kind of giant turtles the folks out there in Junk Food Dinnerland have been watching this month?
Absolutely.
With a little junk mail.
Yeah.
Bowman, hit me with a voicemail if you could.
All right, we got a voicemail here. Let's check it out.
Hey, Junk Food Boys. This is Eddie from New York calling in. I was listening to the episode where Parker was talking about visiting all the movie locations from Vertigo, and it got me thinking what locations for movies I've been to, which isn't very many. The only one that I went consciously after I saw the movie to was the Polish consulate building in New York City, where that building was used as like an exterior for Victor Ziegler's mansion in Eyes Wide Shut. I had some free time, so I went there to see it, and it's a pretty big building. But after, like 2 movies I saw that I recognized locations that I went to before. One was Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, which features a shot of Ardsley Acres, a motel, kind of near the Dobbs Ferry area where I went to college. And, you get to see Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci checking out of the motel. So I thought that was pretty cool. Many of, hungover morning spent in that, waiting area to check out there. And the other one was Terrifier 2. There's a magic shop in the city called Abracadabras where, Art the Clown stalks the mean girl. And I was like, oh shit, I've been there. But the coolest thing, probably movie tied that I, experienced was when on my 13th birthday, I went to Planet Hollywood in Times Square, and I got to touch Zed's motorcycle from Pulp Fiction, War Profiteer, Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, which I thought was super cool because I'm a big fan of the movie. And he had a whole like section stashed off where I got to see the gas can in Reservoir Dogs that Michael Madsen poured on the cop, and the shotgun with the baseball bat that made the cross that Harvey Keitel used in From Dusk Till Dawn. So I thought that was super cool. But I was wondering if anybody would want to call in, listeners, any locations you went to or props you've seen. Have you been to a Planet Hollywood? I remember the pizza being pretty shitty, which was weird because it was New York. You figured they'd get that right. But and of course, you guys on the show, have you guys ever been to a Planet Hollywood? Any props or locations you've been to? I'd love to hear it, and I think it would make for some cool content. So, anyway, have a great show, and talk to you next time. Take care.
Oh, thank you, Eddie, for calling in. And yeah, love the story. I have been to a Planet Hollywood. I know I went to the one in Times Square. I'm trying to think if there was another one that I went to, but you guys had to have gone to a Planet Hollywood at least once in your days, right?
Yeah, I've been to the Times Square one. I think the most notable thing is I think they had like one of Freddy's sweaters and maybe a Freddy mask or something like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've actually never been to one somehow.
Oh, I think they're all gone now, so I think that chance has left you.
God damn it. Well, I've been to a Rainforest Cafe, if that's anything.
How about a Hard Rock Casino?
I have used the restroom at a Hard Rock before, and it was very convenient.
What about, there was one I remember when I was a kid I went to in Vegas that was like owned by like Bo Jackson and Ken Griffey Jr. and like Wayne Gretzky. It was called like All Stars Cafe or something. Same kind of deal.
Oh, yeah. Sounds cool.
But yeah, it was all like sports memorabilia.
What do you get, like some free baseball cards with your meal and stuff like that?
Probably. No, I mean, it was same shit, just overpriced garbage. And you got to look at, memorabilia under plastic.
Okay. All right, well, that's something.
Yeah.
But
speaking of Vegas,
gone
though,
now, too.
What's that?
Is that now long gone?
Oh, I'm sure of it, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's long gone. But there is still a Planet Hollywood in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, they have their own casino and hotel there.
All right, I'll be there next month. Maybe I'll pop by. See if they still got a Freddy Krueger mask on display.
Yeah, I've walked by that one, but I've never been in it.
In terms of locations, I think my favorite location to show people is the Bradbury Building in downtown LA that's famously used in Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. You took me there?
Yeah, the end of Murphy's Law. And just a cool-looking building. Even if you don't like movies, you just say, like, wow, that's a cool-looking building.
Very cool-looking building. Yeah, it was really fun going in there. And the other location that I will always remember you taking me to is, of course, the Bronson Cave.
Oh, yeah. Not named after Charles Bronson, but
where, many a movie has been filmed, including Robot Monster.
Yep. And the Batman TV show.
Yeah.
That was the Bat Cave, and it was the Owl Cave in Twin Peaks, and pretty much anytime anybody needed a cave, it was the cave for a good 100 years.
Yeah, it's pretty close to like the Hollywood sign, and yeah, very fun. I still like going to locations from Airborne whenever I get a chance.
Has it changed much, the Airborne neighborhood?
Oh, for sure. There's been some changes, but you know where those hills are.
I would hope that they're at least commemorated with plaques, right?
They should be. Mm-hmm. There is a restaurant, Pompilio's, in town that has a big thing signed by all the people from Airborne. There's a few scenes filmed there, so.
Man, there should be a walking tour with like state-sponsored guides, to lead you across all of the filming locations from Airborne.
Mm-hmm. I actually just recently watched the movie Milk Money with Anna. She had never seen it. Do you remember that movie at all with Melanie Griffith and Ed Harris? Mm-hmm. That was filmed in Cincinnati as well, and I was pointing out different locations that I recognize from real life.
Dude, I have not thought about that movie since, it came out, and I saw it as a kid. Did it hold up at all? Was it?
No, it's so weird,
It's going to be very problematic, right?
Yeah, I mean, these kids...
I remember being horny for it as, an 8-year-old kid or whatever I was.
Yeah, if you don't know the plot of that movie, it's like a group of, 12-year-old kids hire Melanie Griffith, who is a prostitute, and then help her flee from her killer pimp, and she falls in love with one of the kids' single dad, played by Ed Harris. It was supposed to be like a charming family comedy, but with prostitutes.
And I mean, the thing is, the kids are kind of falling in love with her too, right? Or was that just me at home?
Oh, I mean, how could you not? Yeah, Melanie Griffith is hot as hell in it, so that holds up.
All right, well, maybe I'll put it on, put it on mute or something.
Yeah, get some of that Cincinnati action. My English teacher's in it. My old English teacher from high school, yeah.
Wow. And that was the case at the time while you were taking class?
Yeah, he tries to pick up Melanie Griffith.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And you knew that, at what point did you know that? Did you walk into class, first day of class, you're like, holy shit, it's the guy from Milk Money?
No, it was well known. People are like, oh, where's Mr. Grooms? Oh, he's filming a movie. It was news in the school. And then when the movie came out, we're everyone was, of course, bagging on him because he has one line in the movie and he's trying to pick up a pro.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's marvelous.
I mean, but also kind of heartwarming that, that this is the way the story went, that he wasn't, discovered actually picking up a real prostitute and then losing his job,
Yeah.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen a few things from movies, things we've talked about probably in the past. I think you and I, Sean, went to the Freddy house.
Oh, yeah.
That was exciting. Some of the other Freddy stuff, like the Venice canals and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think of those more as Cobra related, but yeah, they're from Freddy.
As what related?
Cobra. You don't remember the chase scene where Stallone's in his car, jumping over those canals?
Okay, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. Most importantly, though, I've been to a few of the filming locations from The Time Changer, a JFD classic film, if you guys remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
A real classic.
Yeah, that was filmed here in the town I live in. And the movie theater that they filmed some scenes in was my movie theater until it closed during COVID, sadly. And the restaurant is still there that they go to. So, I still enjoy popping in from time to time and reliving the magic of Time Changer.
Not to mention all the times you've spent hunting down the exact trees from the movie The Forest, shot nearby you.
That's close too. I think Cheerleader Camp was filmed up in those same forests. Then I've been to one notable location from the movie Lost Highway.
Oh yeah, the median strip.
Yeah,
it's the only location I remember from David Lynch movies.
Yeah, I've been there. We went to the house from what is that? That Vincent Price movie about the ghosts.
The House on Haunted Hill?
Oh yeah,
that's the one. We went to that house.
Now I think it's the house that's haunted though, not the hill, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they call it Haunted Hill, but the rest of the hill seemed fine to me.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, but none of it was haunted once you get to the goddamn end.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Not a single fucking haunted thing in that whole movie. False advertising, if you ask me.
Well, hopefully your seat buzzed while you watched it.
It did. But I watched it at home, so...
Yeah, William Castle had nothing to do with it.
It's coincidental.
He just had a butt plug in, and his wife had the remote.
Yeah. I like to get a little stimmy during a movie.
You just like to relax during entertainment.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if you want to give us a call and tell us about what Planet Hollywoods you've visited or what famous filming locations you've seen IRL, pick up your phone and dial 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. Or send us an email, JFD Podcast, but that is futile. The best way is to dial right in and let your voice be heard. All right, that being said, let's get into some nerd news.
From the global resources of junk food dinner worldwide, it's time for Nerd News.
First piece of nerd news that I have, I wanted to call out a couple fun Blu-rays that I saw were getting released in the near future that have me hyped. I posted about, I think, most of these in the Discord, but I wanted to chat about them with you real quick. So let me just rattle off about 3 or 4 of these bad boys and see if you have any thoughts on these. The first one, I was just talking about, old school 3D movies getting the new 3D upgrade. And here's one that I'm sure many people have never even heard of, let alone seen. And that is a little movie called Hyperspace, aka Gremloids, from 1984. This is a movie that I first heard about because it has the name Gremloids, and it stars a young Chris Elliott and Paula Poundstone before either one of them was known to the larger comedy world. It's kind of like a spoof on Star Wars and Gremlins, and it's very weird. It's directed by this guy, Todd Durham, who you also might remember as directing the Visions of Sugar Plum segment at the end of Tales from the 3D Zone, or Tales from the Third Dimension, that we did back in the day. And that is a great Christmas-themed horror short film, and that was also filmed for 3D, as was Hyperspace / Gremloids, and now they're getting a 3D Blu-ray from the fine folks at Kino Lorber that includes Gremloids and the 3D Christmas short. So that is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm psyched for that.
Yeah,
do you guys?
Actually, I do. It's funny that you picked this, and you mentioned it on Discord recently, because I haven't watched it yet, but I just downloaded this like mere minutes, I feel like, before you mentioned it in Discord, because I'm working on something that involves a lot of Star Wars adjacent movies that I'm sourcing for clips, and this came across. I came across this on a list of movies that are kind of Star Wars adjacent. Looks cool. Looks very weird. The Darth Vader character in this kind of looks like the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which is an interesting take, but I'm not sure how
Lord
much...
Buckethead.
Oh, is that what he's called?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how much Chris Elliott really is in it.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I flipped through and didn't see a ton of him, but what I did see looked fun.
Yeah, and this most recent Christmas, Anna and I were looking for fun, holiday themed stuff to watch. And I remembered that Visions of Sugar Plum segments from Tales from the 3D Zone. And I couldn't find a good quality version of it online. So I went back and pulled up the version that we watched for the show all those many years ago and fast forwarded right to the Visions of Sugar Plum segment. And that's a lot of fun too. But the whole time I was commenting, I was like, damn, I would love to see a nice cleaned up version of this, because Tales from the Third Dimension has never been released on anything other than VHS. So, and certainly never in 3D, even though it was shot for it. So yeah, I'm psyched to see that get a nice release too. I'll have to watch it again this Christmas and but in an upgraded form.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's not like there's any Siskel and Ebert holiday gift guides you'd be watching instead.
Thank God, no. The other two I wanted to mention real quick, just two John Waters movies getting the Criterion treatment in June, Hairspray and Desperate Living. I've been desperately waiting for both of these to come out. I have all the other John Waters Criterion discs, but they felt very alone without, especially Desperate Living in the mix. So I've been just patiently waiting for when this was going to be announced. So I was psyched for that. Love Hairspray as well, of course, the final movie of Divine and John Waters together. And yeah, these are both two amazing John Waters movies. So I'm psyched to get these on on Blu-ray. I'm actually going to be seeing Desperate Living next month up in Dayton on the big screen, and they're going to have the woman who played Mole in the movie in person, so that should be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Egg Lady, though.
Yeah, of course. And then, last but not least, we've been talking a lot about this in the Discord, but I'm psyched. Next month, 420, brother, The Stoned Age finally making its Blu-ray debut on the Vestron Collector Series. This is, as many people have called it, the poor man's Dazed and Confused. It is a movie that I know Parker and I share a very nice fondness for. It's just a stoner comedy about kids in the 70s smoking dope, worming chicks, just looking to party. And it's very stupid, but I love it. I know you love it, Parker. So this is one that I feel like I've been waiting for forever to get a Blu-ray release. So I'm psyched for this. But yeah, any thoughts on these releases?
I'm obviously hyped for the Stoned Age. This is one that I kind of just assumed would never come out ever, on Blu-ray.
For music rights reasons or why?
That's kind of part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of music. There's Blue Oyster Cult songs and stuff.
Yeah, Black Sabbath and Deep Purple.
Yeah, and it was written by a friend of the show, Rich Wilkes, who also wrote Glory Days, which has not been put out on Blu-ray yet, despite starring Sam Rockwell and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And he also wrote he wrote the Jerky Boys movie, which I don't think is out on Blu-ray. And that Alien movie we talked about on the show, Beer Money. It just seems like everything he does is fated to not come out on Blu-ray. So he wrote Airheads, which Airheads probably has to be out on Blu-ray, but maybe not.
No,
I don't know.
It's not.
Is Airheads not on Blu-ray?
Or if it is, it's wildly out of print, because I just was reading something about how Airheads was very hard to get currently.
Dude, somebody's selling it on eBay for $420. That's cute.
Well worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so
DVDs are even fetching dollars. Wow. You gotta pay $22 for a DVD copy of Airheads.
22?
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep mine at that price, but yeah, everything this guy does is hard to find, which is sucky because he's written so many fucking JFD classics. So I just kind of assumed that the Stoned Age would never come out, but I'm glad that it will, because it's a masterpiece. It's just such a fun movie, instantly quotable. I'm sure I quote the movie fucking once a day. I always tell people it's casual, and I always fucking talk about the Frankie Avalon place and talk about Crump's brother and shit like this. So talk about Talls all the time. Talls, anytime somebody's drinking, I talk about Talls. So
dude, you know what piece of Stoned Age merch I want so bad is just Ox 45 can koozies. Make it happen.
Yeah, somebody's got I mean, I'm sure we could probably like hit up Hide the Bodies and make some. Like whoever made this movie probably doesn't care about that. Like wouldn't even know. Like that they have the rights probably that they could sue us. Like, I mean, everything about this movie is wonderful. I'll be happy to buy it on day one.
Yeah, I think I might even pick this up. I like the Stone Age a lot, and I appreciate it as a rare Torrance, California.
Oh yeah,
movie. The city of Torrance, just outside of LA, really part of LA, that these days is pretty much only known for being kind of like the Japan town of LA. It's where all the Japanese Americans live, and if you want to go get your ant-covered Pockies, that's where I bought mine. But in this movie, it's kind of like before it was known as like a Japanese hub, and so it's just regular-ass SoCal Torrance, and it's interesting to see it. So as an LA denizen, I think there's interest here for fans of Torrance.
Hell, they used to call you Dixie Cup Dean.
That's right. I wish they still would.
Mm-hmm. Another notable thing about Torrance is that's where you have to go to get a copy of Airhead. Get it like you download it illegally.
Oh, Torrance. I get it.
From a Torrance.
From Torrance, From Torrance, California.
That's pretty good. That would, probably would have been better like as a written joke.
Yeah, in print. Yeah, but I mean that's the world that he comes from, Kevin. He's a newspaper man.
He's a print journalist.
Yeah. Shout out Clifton Collins Jr. as Tack.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Also a friend of the show, Clifton Collins Jr. He tweeted us one time.
Shout out Taylor Negron. Why not?
Yeah.
I like the guy.
And not a friend of his show.
There's a character named Mike Dick in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Well, I got some news.
Okay.
Probably news only I care about of the three of us, but I'm sure we have one or two listeners who cares about this as much as I do. And that is that news broke this week after months and months and months of anticipation and being hyped up by Sarah Michelle Gellar that the new Buffy revival is not happening. Hulu made a pilot episode for a new Buffy show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, New Sunnydale, which is going to be like a reboot sequel thing. But it turns out the pilot was not picked up. Now all the Buffy fans are very upset in the world. There are actually going to be protests at the Hulu offices, I think on tomorrow. Sean, if you want to go.
Okay, yeah. This seems worthy of my time.
Mm-hmm.
With all the things that I should be protesting, this is probably the top.
Probably, I would think. Most important thing going on. But in a shocking twist, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm pretty happy about this. I think Buffy was perfect as it was. I don't think it needs a reboot. And also the script has been leaked online and it sucks really badly. So I'm happy that we're not getting any more Buffy. I posted it on Facebook, but there's a part where the vampire bad guy tells the kids that he's like, I'll have to paraphrase here, but he tells them he's sick of how woke they are, but that he himself is woke. He died and then awoke as a vampire. That's a real thing from the script.
Oh yeah, I actually downloaded that script from Torrance, California.
Exactly. So I'm very happy that.
Is this the same guy that wrote the new Scary movie?
It might be. Yeah, so I'm happy this is not going on. People in the Facebook Buffy groups are mad at me because I keep laughing about this. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys care about this Buffy reboot or reboot sequels in general or anything like that?
Well, I can't say I'm in any Buffy Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But
I care more about your standing in these groups than I do the movie. Like, I'm kind of concerned. Hopefully you're not a pariah now.
I am. I'm probably going to get kicked out. I'm getting banned from every fucking Facebook group now.
I hope it was worth it, Bowman.
Would you be shocked if I told you I've never seen a full-fledged Buffy episode? I mean, I feel like I watched a Buffy episode that you forced me to watch on this show a couple times.
Yeah, we watched one once.
Yeah, we watched one episode.
And you've seen the movie that has nothing to do with it.
And I've seen the movie that has nothing to do with it.
No, the show and the movie are pretty close. They're pretty similar. I mean, it's like a
it's a totally different creative team, though, right?
The same writer. And same producers, but different director and different cast. But it's part of the continuity. It counts.
Now, if
we'll
Buffy,
be talking a lot about continuity later.
If Buffy was to come back, in what form would you like to see it? You think it should be a comic book now? Would you like a Buffy video game? What would please a Bowman?
I would like a video game. There are 2 old school video games that I have that are for like Xbox One, so they're very bad. There are comic books that follow up the story, and they're very bad.
So maybe they should just give up, I guess.
I think so. I mean, one of the things that is kind of going against this is that Joss Whedon is not allowed to work in Hollywood anymore. And I would probably be for it if he was there. Like, if he magically was like, you know, not a piece of crap anymore and was allowed to do stuff. Like, that would be good because he invented it. But
also, I mean, real talk, like, what percentage of your enjoyment of this property is just related to your crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Oh, that's only like 1.5%.
Really? Okay. I figured that was kind of the missing element here.
No, I got much bigger crush on Allison Hannigan, who plays Willow.
Okay. And I assume her absence has kind of, you know, impacted your enjoyment of this proposed revival.
Well, I think she's involved in some way, but
see, I always had a crush on Seth Green.
That's reasonable.
But not
really cool.
but not in this, in Airborne, of course.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Are you going to go see that new Ready or Not with Sarah Michelle Gellar?
I didn't like the first one, but I will probably see this one. Because I see everything, because I've got the Regal Unlimited pass, and then also because of Sarah Michelle Gellar, who I like, but not because I have a crush on her.
Okay.
Is that the same movie as? Is there a movie called They Will Kill You coming out?
Yes.
Yeah,
but that's what, right?
That's what Zazie Beetz.
Okay.
Yeah,
man,
but it does look like a ripoff.
Commercials for that.
Yeah, it looks very much like a ripoff of the first Ready or Not, which is odd, but.
Yeah, but Zazie Beetz in her underwear.
Yeah,
I'll counter with that.
Probably one of the greatest trailers to ever be released in the history of cinema because of that. That's a movie I will be seeing because I have a crush on the lady involved.
There you have it.
Yep. All right. Well, I do not have nerd news, but what I do have is the premiere pilot episode of a new game show.
What would Kevin say? What you say?
It's the What Would Kevin Say game show.
Oh, no.
Are you guys excited for the What Would Kevin Say game show?
Of course.
This is a show, and, you know, some listeners out there might accuse me of ripping off Corey. The fact of the matter is I had the What Would Kevin Say game show in the hopper for many weeks now. But this is a game show in which we're going to find out what did Kevin say and what did he say it about? I've got clips from 3 reviews that Kevin Moss provided on this very podcast, on the Junk Food Dinner podcast, in years past. I'm going to play these clips. You two guys are going to try and guess what movie is Kevin Moss talking about. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll play the first clip. They're going to be kind of not very helpful at first. They'll get maybe more helpful as we go through. And just, I guess, buzz in with your names if you think you know what it is. But here's the first clip on What Would Kevin Say?
Critically lampooned, failed at the box office big time. I think it had a lot of things going against it, despite the fact that it has a very recognizable cast.
All right. Any clues? Any ideas?
I used the term lampooned.
You did?
Yeah.
Animal House.
It is not Animal House.
Just kidding.
Parker Bowman, you got a guess?
This is hard. Is it maybe Showgirls?
It's not Showgirls. Here's the next clip.
A lot of elements that, you know, are very adult, you know, like especially, you know, the beginning of this movie feels very adult.
All right.
Showgirls.
And it's not Showgirls, Bowman.
Sorry.
Okay, I can go to a third clip. Seems like these are not helpful yet.
South American millionaires who are just kind of hangers on and stuff. So like a kid's not going to relate.
I have no clue.
Surely you must have some idea by now.
Is it Shusha?
No, it's not Shusha. All right, here we go. One more clip.
And the Bobo and Little Devil.
Oh, it's Nothing But Trouble.
And Nothing But Trouble from 1991.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, I got two more movies, so we'll just go through these. Yeah, you know Bobo, of course. All right, so the next round of What Would Kevin Say starts with...
I used to be real militant about this.
Well, it has to be a porno.
Well, you would think. You can guess if you like. Throw something out there.
I mean, are these all fairly recent?
I mean, we've got a long history here on the show.
That's what I mean.
It could be from any era of JFD.
Oh my god!
But maybe use your voice as a guide. You know, how much of a grandpa do you sound like?
I don't know. I'm going to say She-Devil.
It is not She-Devil. Bowman, just throw a title at me.
Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains.
No. All right, we got one more clip.
I'd say 60-40 for me on Lost Highway.
Anything on this?
That gives me nothing.
Does it give you anything?
It sounds like a new episode because I think I heard my stupid desk jangle around.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you heard your Alienware PC in the background.
Can you hear that right now?
No.
Oh, I think my fan is dying, so I'm like real nervous. It's like kind of being loud right now, so I apologize.
All right, next clip. Here we go.
Fantasizes about getting quote unquote more pussy than a toilet seat.
Anything?
Ghoulies 3.
It's not Ghoulies 3. I wish it was Ghoulies 3.
Ghoulies 2.
It just didn't work for me. And then, you get the whole body switching thing where it's like...
I feel like you should know by now.
Jason Goes to Hell?
No.
No.
No. You're at risk of losing the lead here, Bowman, if Kevin guesses this.
The whole body switching thing.
I'll play it again.
It just didn't work for me. And then, you get the whole body switching thing where it's like...
Who's switching bodies in what movie? This, I'll give you the year that we reviewed this. We reviewed this movie in the year 2020.
Oh, pandemic era?
Yeah, that's cheating, huh?
Yeah. Who knows what was going on?
Dude, and this is just a couple months into the pandemic. April of 2020.
My head wasn't right at the time.
And neither was the head of the guy starring in...
Lost Highway from 1997, but...
He's going through that psychotic fugue or whatever.
I see.
All right, Bowman's still in the lead, but Kevin's got a chance to catch up with our final movie here. Just get right into it.
When I started watching this, I didn't know if I had seen this before, but as soon as I started watching it, I knew immediately that I had seen this on cable.
What would Kevin say? Okay, not sparking much. We can do another one.
But yeah, he is a total douche in this movie. Worst haircut ever.
Just
anything?
Miracle Beach.
Ding, ding, ding.
Whoa.
An impressive showing.
I thought it might be that with the first clue, but I didn't say anything. Now I regret that. But
wow, yeah. You got it, dude. All the way back on JFD 197, the year 2014, Miracle Beach. And that is how you play What Would Kevin Say?
What would Kevin say? What to say?
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Insanity. Yeah. Thank you. I can't believe I lost. I had such an advantage. These are all things I said.
I know. I feel like you got to get in better touch with your memory banks or something. But
for real.
Won't be the last time that we play, so maybe next time just bone up before it, I guess. Start listening to your old reviews.
I'm a big Kevin fan. Everybody knows that about me. So, it seems reasonable to me that I would win.
Yeah. Well, congrats. You are the champion.
Well, while we get the statue trophy engraved for Bowman, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to get into our first movie of the evening. And that is Felidae from 1994. So stick around.
I was happy here, unfettered and free, living the life of contentment and luxury, sucking on bones, sipping white wine, a superior cat, proud and divine. Felidae, Felidae. He needs adventure. Adventure means trouble. 9 lives is cool if you're using the wise. Just look at this place, full of darkness and rubble. Francis has come to see death with his eyes. Gustav writes books fit to poison the mind. He talks to this cat like this cat is a child. Such imperfection in human design. But if life has to change, why must it be mine? Felidae, Felidae. He needs adventure. Adventure means trouble. 9 lives is cool if you're using the wise. Just look at this place, full of darkness and rubble. Francis has come to see death with his eyes. Killer on the loose, Deep Purple is dead. Found him in the gutter, bloody in the head. Cat killer on the loose, yes. Gotta find me a killer, gotta find me a killer. Adventure means trouble. 9 lives is cool if you're using the wise. Just look at this place, full of darkness and rubble. Francis has come to see death with his eyes. Felidae, Felidae. Felidae, Felidae. Felidae, Felidae. Felidae, Felidae.
Do you know the meaning of this word, Felidae? human. I'm the beast.
Friend or foe?
The name's Francis.
I guess you're new on the block. And he's the fourth in the last month.
This means you're the first witness I've found to the killings.
Only men are brutal enough to do a thing like this.
Those who believe in him will know truth, and the chosen shall know his blessing and mercy.
Genetics.
Evolution has created an astounding number of various creatures. Not one, however, deserves the respect and wonder that Felidae has earned.
I think it's more likely that it's sex that's just gone too far.
Didn't you tell me that Purple was too old to be interested in sex? Haven't you got it yet? Were there any that were pregnant?
Many. Oh, yes. Many.
The killer is the puzzle, and he wants us to solve it.
The solution to the riddle is actually very simple.
Cool.
Welcome back to Junk Food Dinner, the first movie that we're going to be taking a look at on the show this evening is Felidae from 1994. This is a German animated movie that I remember reading about. This movie was very elusive for many years because it was released in German, based off a German book. It was in German language, and it never got released in the United States theatrically or on home video. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that, and we can talk about those. But I think the main reason is because it's essentially an adult movie. It's the book was an adult book, and the movie, despite being, looking like a Don Bluth or Disney movie, deals with a lot of like kind of grim subjects in terms of murder and sex, and there's some foul language in it. So I think the main reason it never really got brought over here was because I don't think they knew how to market it, and I think there was still probably some lingering memories of things like Plague Dogs and Watership Down, which were kind of heavy and gruesome animated movies that I think got a lot of pushback because parents would rent them or take their kids to see them thinking that they were intended for children. In those two cases, they weren't like rated R, but they did have some disturbing images. And I think the memory of that was still a little fresh when they were trying to import this in the United States. And I think a lot of distributors just didn't really know what to do with it. So I remember,
feel like it could also maybe be just the Germans deciding, hey, we don't want the world to. I mean, we've moved on from the Third Reich, and we don't want the world to associate us with some of the imagery in this movie.
I don't know about that. I mean, because I think they did try to. They wanted to bring this to other markets. I mean, it was big in Germany, and they did an English dub, which did get a video release in Australia and Thailand, surprisingly. And then the English dub did show up on the German DVD, but for years, this, like I said, this was very hard to see in German or otherwise here in the States. But it was fairly big in Germany. At the time, it was the most expensive animated film to ever be made in Germany. And like I said, the books, the Felidae novel was a bestseller in Germany and was translated to English and was fairly popular in the United States as well.
So it was a novel, not even like a comic or graphic novel.
Yeah, it was like it was basically this story, but yeah, it was like sold as like a noir, but just starring a cat. And it was, the author, I guess, got the idea. He, the owner of the cat, Francis, the main cat in this, is a writer. And basically he got the idea by like, I wonder what my cat does when he leaves the house and wanders around the neighborhood. And he thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I wrote a mystery about it? And so he wrote this book in 1989. Like I said, it became a bestseller in Germany, and then was later translated to various languages, but did get a U.S. release and stuff, and was fairly popular. And then, yeah, they made this movie. And so, like I said, I remember, when I was younger, and even to this day, but especially at the time, I was very into getting into adult animation, not just things like, the Ralph Bakshi stuff and like heavy metal and things like that, but, things like anime at the time, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, just looking for anything that was, kind of alternative, crazy cartoons. And this got brought up a lot in message boards and people talking about it online. But it was like, good luck finding it. You'd have to import a German copy and all this and stuff. So eventually it did show up online several years ago with the English dub. And the English dub it's not bad. I mean, I actually, with animated movies, if there is an English dub, sometimes I prefer that rather than the original language, much more so than, obviously, if it's a live action, I always prefer the original language. But with cartoons, I think English dub can be fine. So that eventually showed up online. And then just last year, I think, Deaf Crocodile put this out on Blu-ray here in the United States and Canada for the first time ever. Unfortunately, it does not have the English dub on the American release. I guess the legal rights to the English dub are hung up in some weird legal limbo, so they're able to release it, in German with English subtitles. But the elusive English dub is not on that new Deaf Crocodile disc, unfortunately. But the print itself looks good, and that's the most important part. But if you want the English dub, it is out there. It's on YouTube. It's it's all over the internet, so it's easy enough to find nowadays. But in any case, what is this movie about? So, like I said, it's an animated movie about a cat who his owner moves into a new place that's kind of dingy, kind of stinks. But he is a writer, and as he explains in the opening narration, his owner, who in this world the cats refer to their owners as can openers, he moves around to get inspiration for different books, and this is the newest place that they've landed. His cat Francis starts to get a lay of the land and starts meeting some of the other local cats in the neighborhood, and starts to find out that there is a series of murders of cats going on quite suspiciously within the neighborhood. And he befriends a cat named Bluebeard, who's kind of like a bigger, kind of dumber, tougher cat, and they go on to try to solve the mystery of how these cats are being murdered, and in sometimes very gruesome ways. And so it becomes this whole mystery of these cats trying to solve these murders. And again, it is an adult movie, so it's not like overtly like gross or nasty like a Ralph Bakshi movie, but it does have, like I said, some pretty intense violence throughout, some pretty graphic like gore for an animated cat movie. There is obviously like some intense scenes of danger and stuff like that, but also there's sex, and that we see a scene of two cats fucking at one point in this movie, and there's also some adult language throughout. The cats cuss and whatnot. So definitely not a kids movie, but also not like a intentional kind of over the top like sleazy adult cartoon, but just incorporating adult elements into a movie about cats. So we meet other various cats throughout the neighborhood. There is a cat named Pascal, who is the kind of smart, rich cat in the neighborhood who might be hiding a secret. You've got some female cats. He meets this blind female cat that he takes a liking to at the beginning, and then things happen. I don't want to give too much away. It's a pretty short movie. I think it's less than 90 minutes. I think it's about 80 minutes, 78 minutes or so. So it's a pretty breezy watch. So I had, like I said, first saw this when the English dub first kind of popped up on YouTube. It was one that I'd been wanting to see for a while. Always kind of heard about it, and I really liked it. I think the animation is great. I was talking in the Discord not too long ago about how I really have a soft spot for that old school traditional hand-drawn animation, and I think this is a really good example of that. And like I said, it's got some pretty gnarly scenes in it. This movie, you can't really talk about Felidae without talking about the author, this guy, Asif Perenisi. He's a Turkish-born German, and he, like I said, wrote this book, but in recent years has been pretty much canceled completely for his very kind of right-wing populist views, very anti-Islam. He's a jerk, and as a result, I mean, and not just a jerk, he's said some very, problematic things. As a result, the book Felidae has been essentially like canceled altogether, even though the book itself isn't really I mean, maybe you could read some things into it, but it's not explicitly like as gross as some of the things he said. But the book has been taken off Amazon. You can't really get it anywhere. So if you ever want to read Felidae, you might have a hard time finding it because the author has turned out in later years to be, like I said, pretty problematic. But that being said, I like to separate the art from the artist. While he wrote the book, he obviously did not animate or direct this movie. So as far as just the animation goes and the story, I think it's actually a very interesting piece of international animation. And I think it's well worth watching, but I'm interested to find out what you guys think of Felidae.
I had never heard of Felidae before, but as we had proved with Cat City, I can enjoy a European cat cartoon as much as anyone, I would say. And actually, to prepare for this, I watched Disney's The Aristocats.
Oh yeah, very similar style.
Yeah, sort of. Well,
there's even an Aristocats reference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there is. And I guess my short review of The Aristocats is, that's a cute, charming movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is maybe a little bit less cute and less charming. And I guess I'll just go ahead and say it, even though this is going to sound like the lamest grandpa shit ever, but I think you can tell this same story probably much better without all of this explicit cat violence. And maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm just sensitive to this because of, all the shit that I've been through with cats and coyotes, and honestly, lots of, lost sleep over worrying about the cats and getting woken up by cats fighting and having to nurse them and things like this, that I just don't need these nightmare-inducing shots of decapitated kittens or reanimated puppet armies of cats. Those moments gave me legitimate, this was animated by a psychopath type vibes, sort of like when we watched that Jimmy Screamer Claus movie. And that was before even these laboratory scenes where we're doing horrendous experiments on cats. And it just seemed to me that it was kind of try hard at best and just maybe even legitimately deranged at worst. For some of the runtime, I was able to invest in the murder mystery part of it, and I liked how they used 1940s film noir visual references to tell the story. Kind of like how Cat City used 1930s crime pictures. But there's a stylization to a lot of the cats that makes them look kind of ugly to look at. Maybe it's just that I was coming off The Aristocats where they're much cuter, and, maybe that was the wrong movie to watch immediately before this. But I didn't really love hanging with these cats, and anytime they introduced a new story beat, alongside it would be a new horrendously disfigured corpse of a cat. And I was at a certain point, I'm just like, man, how many dead cats do I have to see in this movie? But I will say, Deaf Crocodile did a great job restoring this. The animation is great. It is classic animation, free of shortcuts. You can tell that they cared about animating this properly. And shout out to Deaf Crocodile in general. They've got a great library of very obscure titles, and it seems like they do really nice work.
a lot of focus on international animation that's never been released in the States.
Yeah, and also some cool live action, like Japanese sexploitation movies and stuff like that. Like they've got some interesting stuff over there. So if this is a movie that you already love for some sick reason, I can safely say buy the disc. Or if you're not so sure, do what I did and check it out on Tubi. But be advised, Tubi gave me like a 1-minute ad break, I think every 10 minutes while I watched this.
Jesus.
And that did not help. And I think nearly every single ad break was for that movie, We're Going to Kill You, or whatever the hell it was. So that probably had an impact on my assessment of the movie. I did like the theme song.
Tubi's been going crazy. Oh, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, like Tubi, it used to be like Tubi would give you like one quick commercial like at the beginning and then like one near the end. Like Tubi used to be great about commercials, and like the last few movies I've watched on Tubi have been like, hey, we're going to give you 5 commercials like every fucking 15 minutes. And I don't know what's going on over there, but it's getting to be a little too much, buddy, Mr. Tubi.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. Less disappointing was the theme song, which I liked. Sounded kind of like a late Peter Gabriel track or something.
It's actually Boy George.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right, yeah, it sounded good. But yeah, overall, I did not like this. Shame on me for expecting anything resembling fun from the Germans, but come on, guys. This is a fucking animated cat movie. Does it have to be this grim?
Yeah, I'm glad that this movie is pretty grim. To be honest. Like I definitely see where you're coming from though, Sean. Like if I was spending as much time as you protecting my family of cats from coyotes and possums and raccoons and stuff, I would probably not. And I mean I actually was worried. Like there is like a certain level of anxiety to this movie at the beginning, at least for me. I don't think it's intended necessarily, where like the cat comes to the new house and then like he just immediately starts walking around the neighborhood and stuff, because it's like that's so dangerous. Like my cat Snarf used to run out of the house sometimes when I would open the door, and it's just like it's nerve-wracking. Like he's gone for a couple hours, he comes back, he might have like some scratches on him. Like it's like, who knows what could happen to this boy? Like, like there's another cat in the neighborhood that like has like a weird eye condition. He's like a stray cat that I feed sometimes, and it's like there's a lot of danger out there for cats. Like there's dogs roaming around, there's coyotes, like we have hawks in my neighborhood and owls and shit like this. Like, so when they were like, I don't think it's intended in the story necessarily, but even just the idea of the cats like walking around by themselves in the neighborhood, I was like, this is scary. What's going on? Cats should be inside. I don't like this. But within the reality of the movie, I do like that it is grim. I think if this movie didn't have that aspect to it, I would have been real bored. Because it is a murder mystery, so I do think that you need that. Like, they set up a couple, like that first dead body you see. Bro's got his guts out and stuff like that, and it's like very striking. And then the first like kind of big murder you get to of like what you think might be a main character. Like that, like that, without giving away why that one's so gruesome. Like that one's very gruesome.
This is much more gruesome, though, than I would say the vast majority even of murder mysteries. I don't think you need to be this grim to be an effective murder mystery. I mean, Knives Out doesn't have anything like this.
Well, this is better than Knives Out, in my honest opinion. I get what you're saying. Most aren't. This is like, this is gruesome. Outside of the fact that it's a cartoon, like it is gruesome, even by like Friday the 13th murder mystery standards, or Giallo standards in LA. So yeah, I get what you're saying. But I mean, I think that's what makes this unique.
It is, yeah. I mean, that is its selling point. Is like, hey, if you wanted a cartoon to have a bunch of fucked up cat deaths in it, this is the only one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you could probably watch this and Watership Down as like a double feature if you just want to get bummed out over animal deaths.
Yeah. This, Plague Dogs, and Watership Down.
Yeah.
The ultimate animal death cartoon trilogy.
Yeah, really bum yourself out.
And then just watch the part where Bambi's mom dies.
Mm-hmm. And then Godzilla versus Bambi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll only take you a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Might as well watch it.
Throw it in there. The whole time I was like waiting for what the political allegory would be in this, because all European cartoons are political allegories. That's just how they roll. And so I was like, all right, this is either going to be about communism or it's going to be about Hitler. Let's see, how's this going to unfold? And I don't know, I'm not too clear on it. Like, I mean, I guess that's the thing is like, I always know that European animation is about some sort of politics, but I don't know enough about European politics to understand the metaphors ever. And I'm pretty sure this is about Hitler, but I'm not totally right. Like, there's like the eugenics plot, and like there's like a cult with like a charismatic leader, but outside of that, it doesn't feel very Hitler-y.
I think the laboratory stuff feels kind of, Joseph Mengele-esque or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess, it could be like more that part, like not necessarily Hitler, but like sort of that other, like that side of the Nazism stuff. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, but yeah, so, I mean, I guess that's what the metaphor is supposed to be, but I'm not totally sure. Judging from the book guy being outspoken about hating lots of people, I guess maybe, I don't know. I'd have to look at his politics. Maybe there's something else going on in here, but I took it as kind of a Hitler thing, I guess. But if we have any German listeners who know what the metaphor is, let us know. I will, yeah. I like the main character a lot. He was like real scrappy. Like he gets into a fight with like that big cat who I don't like the design of I don't know any of these cats' names. Like the very biggest cat with the two sidekicks. He kind of looks like a dog or like a bobcat. Like he doesn't really look like a real cat.
Well, his name's Kong.
Yeah. He's named after Kong, like that really good band. Kong.
There's
Kong.
What?
There's a good band called Kong Kong.
I don't know them.
Oh, they're good. And Mike introduced them to me, so I got to thank Mike. But you should listen to them. They were in one of the music leagues at some point. But I guess that makes sense. Like, I mean, he is like the biggest, scariest dude. But I don't know. There's just something about his design that I didn't care for. But I get that they're trying to like make him, crazy big by cat standards. But the main character is fun. He gets into a fight with that guy, and he's like you can buy him as being like a scrappy, smart detective. The way he kind of gets out of some of these situations, and I like that about that guy. I like that they call the humans can openers. I think that's funny. That's a funny observation. The animation's great. Some of the scaling is a little off. Like there was a scene where like they were on the rooftops, and like some of the cats were like seemed bigger than what they should be. Like maybe like the scaling was just off a little bit. That kind of struck me. But outside of that, I mean, the animation's like obviously great, and most of the designs for the characters are really cool. It is kind of weird that the cats use a computer. I didn't really. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Like the mystery, like it kind of lost me at some point. Like it's a little convoluted, but I think that's also kind of the point. Like, and I mean, this isn't like a very long movie. It's like 80 minutes or something like that. But it does. By the end, it was like kind of like, all right, like I'm kind of over it now. Like let's wrap it up. But I mean, the ending's good. Like there's like a lot of cool stuff. There's like a cool fight scene at the end. It was good animation. There's a really cool character turn where like one of the characters finds a dead body, and you've seen this character as like a dickhead the whole time, and he kind of shows a different side of himself. So like there's even like some cool like nuance in the characters and like some shades of gray going on here that I thought was cool. I watched the first half of this with the subtitles and then the second half dubbed just to kind of get a feel for both of them. And I liked both. I like both versions. I will probably watch this again at some point. I don't know which version I will watch. Probably the dubbed. Because it's just like kind of easier and like the dubbed cast was good. So
yeah, the dubbed cast. The funny thing about that, I guess, for years there was a lot of speculation, like who did the dub, and it turned out Bozo did the dub. No, it was. No, it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was. It was dubbed by just people that were like doing anime at the time. So if you listen to a lot of anime dubs, you might recognize these voices. But people like for years were speculating, like, is it Carrie Elways? Is Francis the cat? Or like, you know, there was like, because they kind of sound like different Hollywood actors, but no one famous, just anime dudes.
Well, I mean, they were all good. All the voices were good. I feel like they all fit. So yeah, I like this. I thought this was really fun. I mean, not fun, but it was good.
Yeah.
You better not think it was fun.
No, not fun at all, but good. It's a good movie.
Well, like we said, if you want to check out Felidae, spelled like, you know, the class of animal, like feline.
Yeah, like that word that we all knew for sure.
We all knew.
We all knew Felidae, of course.
Of course. If we've studied large cats in high school. But yeah, Felidae, it is the Deaf Crocodile version is available to watch right now on Tubi, or if you want to find the English dub, it's out there on YouTube and other places. But support the Deaf Crocodile, at least watch it on Tubi maybe, or pick up that disc. But that about wraps it up for Felidae. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to get into our second feature of the evening, and that is Papi Gudia from 1996, so stick around.
Don't be no fool. You better गुड़िया? लेकिन ये तो लड़कियों के खेलने के लिए है।
ले लो बहन जी, शानदार गुड़िया है, रस्ते का माल सस्ता है, बार-बार नहीं मिलता जी।
Everyone has a childhood toy they'll always remember. Everyone knows most accidents happen at home. This is no accident. Someone's moved in with Karishma and her brother. And so has terror. There's nothing nice about murder. And there's nothing innocent about the sinful dawn.
Welcome back to Junk Food Dinner. The next movie on the show tonight is going to be, very excitingly, Papi Gudia from 1996. This was directed by Lawrence D'Souza, and it was picked by loyal listener and Journey to the Center of the Eye contest winner, Scrambled Face Jeff. So thanks, Jeff, for picking this. And by the way, isn't that just a fun title to say? Papi Gudia? Did you guys find yourselves saying Papi Gudia all week?
Mm-hmm. I did, actually, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been saying it for years, actually. It's kind of my wife's pet name for me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, understandable. I can see the resemblance.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a movie that I knew nothing about until Jeff picked it, and I think he described it as a Bollywood Child's Play ripoff. And so that's kind of what I went in knowing. And Jeff was right. That's exactly what this movie is.
He called it.
But before the plot, I did want to call out some of the funny credits that we get, including a long disclaimer that explains that this film is made for kids, and it was made to teach them the lesson of not getting too attached to their toys, or some shit like that.
Or robots.
It's a very confusing disclaimer. There's also a very heartfelt dedication to the filmmaker's parents, including photos of them. And then we get a very long credit sequence that just has some fun credits, including multiple credits for a position entitled Dress Man. I don't know what a dress man does on a set, but it sounds like a fun position. There's a credit for just action and then a guy's name. Don't know what he did. I guess he directed the action scenes. Who knows? Audiography is a credit, or audiography, I guess you would say. It was shot on location in a town called Ooty, O-O-T-Y. I learned that from these credits. There's a credit in here that says friendly appearance, Shakti Kapoor. So I'm pretty glad they were able to get Shakti Kapoor for his friendly appearance in this. And the final credit is produced by Mrs. Raj Chabra. And I just wanted to point it out because I feel like I've never seen Mrs. in a credit like, I don't think I've even seen Mr. in a credit like that, but to see Mrs. was very striking.
Well, clearly you haven't seen any movies with Mr. T.
Well, okay, but that's
or Miss Pat.
Okay, Kevin Moss, you're finding all the loopholes today, but it struck me. Anyhow, this movie starts and somebody's kidnapping children on or around the nights of full moons in some remote Indian village, I guess Ooty, and the guy is not even asking for ransom or anything like that. So the cops are mystified. What could this guy's motive be? Who could he be? And by the way, this is one of those movies where cops will take a lit cigarette and throw it down on the floor of the police station to make a point, even when there's a good third of the cigarette left. And, they don't seem to care at all where the cigarette lands. So we get some of that. That's always fun. Then in the next scene, we see a kid get kidnapped by a couple of creepy white dreadlock guys in a shaggin' wagon. They mention that they've sacrificed 12 kids on the last 12 full moon nights. So I guess these are, the killers that the cops are looking for. But by the way, I like how the dreadlock wizards in this look sort of like a villain from the Kamen Rider shows of the 1970s. Just very campy looking villains.
Yeah, or just of Power Rangers of the 1990s.
Yeah, but with those, dreadlocks that suggest maybe they've been following the band Fish for too long.
Yep.
Anyhow, one of these guys gets cold feet about all of this child killing, and so the other guy stabs him dead. Later, the cops hear about the one guy surviving, and they print up a wanted poster for him that looks a lot like the Killer Bob wanted poster from Twin Peaks. Then later, this killer puts on a sick cloak and spies on one of the wildest elementary school dance contests I think you'll ever see. And you can tell this guy thinks it's wild stuff too, because we keep getting these crazy close-ups of the killer's eyes while he watches these kids do their Indian moonwalks and shit like this. So he's real into it. Anyhow, a cop sees the guy, which, leads to a fun foot chase shootout type scene, and then a shootout in a toy store, which was awesome to see. Just a cool location, and a toy store in India. And the shootout is pretty well staged and paced. And actually, I think the cop and the killer are both pretty compelling actors. So I really like this little shootout. But you can probably guess where this is going. The dreadlock wizard killer gets killed, but he manages to transfer his soul into a bootleg Young Charles doll, here called an angel doll.
Yeah.
Which, is that what you're going to point out? That it's
I was just saying,
it's an angel?
You're being a little generous with even calling this a bootleg Young Charles.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how this guy looks. Because, the original Young Charles, obviously kind of a Cabbage Patch Kids takeoff.
No, My Buddy.
Oh, My Buddy. Okay. That's
sure.
right. Yeah, My Buddy and Me. Mm-hmm. This seems like it's more like, the Cabbage Patch dolls have been on the market for like 15 years, and every subsequent year, the knockoffs of them get more and more bootleg looking. And we're just like 10 generations away from this used to be a Cabbage Patch type design. That's kind of how I feel.
Well, yeah, it's just the most generic looking doll you've ever seen in your life. And that's the thing that, and we can talk about this in more depth later, but the thing that just drove me nuts about this movie is like, it's not a high budget movie, but it you can tell there was some budget there. They had money for a lot of dance sequences and whatnot. But they spent literally like $5 on the doll. And like, there's no attempt at any sort of, puppetry or animatronics with this thing. And I get it. It's India, it's Bollywood. But you're telling me there's not a special effects or puppetry team that would have, been willing to help out on this film?
Well, the impression I got, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe they did put more effort into this than I'm thinking, but I thought that they just bought an off-the-shelf doll. I thought, okay, this angel doll is probably just a doll that was available in stores in India in 1996.
In dollar stores.
Exactly, in dollar stores.
Yes, the cheapest possible stores.
Yeah. In rupee stores, I guess it would be. But it's... I think the cheapness of this doll, in a weird way, it works to its benefit. I think it's maybe scarier in a way that it's so just trash looking. But anyhow, we get this shootout. Side note about the shootout, there is a rack of bootleg videotapes on display, and mixed among the titles are no less than 4 copies of The Skateboard Kid.
Oh, yeah, classic.
All movies, yeah, kind of strange. Anyhow, the cops think the killer is dead, and nobody realizes that this angel doll is truly a devil in disguise until the bodies start to stack up. And then, in one of the most insane choices I've ever seen in movie credits, we then get a directed by credit.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes in.
It's 25 minutes in. It's been a full 20 minutes since we've seen another credit. Yeah. And then we're like, yeah, by the way, directed by. I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, and not only that, but the opening credits were so long. I mean, like comically long.
Yeah.
And then this is just like, it felt like a joke. Like, oh, and remember how long the credits were? Here's another one, 20 minutes later.
It was great. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't change a single thing about that. Right. After that, we get this musical number for a song I think is presumably called I Love the Beat in Music. And it's a great song. It's a great dance number. There's an insanely large number of extras dancing up there on stage and in the audience to this kind of disco-infused sort of Indian pop track. I can't really explain this scene very well, but you just have to see it. It's so much bigger and more insane than you'd ever think, and very colorful, including the color blackface is actually represented here. So, but the staging is very good, and I feel like these guys watch the right classic Hollywood musicals. It's very Busby Berkeley-esque. Anyhow, at this point, Tubi started running commercials after every goddamn scene, which kind of fucked with my flow, but I stuck with the movie. The singer of the big song is named Karishma, and her brother Raju, who looks a lot like an Indian Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid, was the one who the killer was last stalking. So, in a crazy coincidence, the singer Karishma buys a doll for her little brother Raju as a gift, and guess what? It's that killer doll, who is named Channi, by the way. I think this is when we learned
Channi.
Channi, yeah, Channi is his name. Not Chucky, but Channi. And it was at this point that I looked at the runtime and I said to myself, how the hell are there still 2 full hours left in this movie?
Well, you underestimated Bollywood's ability to cram in musical numbers wherever they can.
They absolutely do. I mean, it starts hitting some of the beats that you would expect. A babysitter gets pushed out of a window by the Gudia.
Oh my God. Can we talk about that?
Sure, yeah.
Dude, it's the funny, because it's obviously trying to recreate the scene from the original Young Charles play.
Yeah.
Where the lady falls out the window. But in this case, again, it's like a doll's hand with a hammer hits her on the back of the head with the hammer, which then somehow propels her to fly out the window.
Yeah, she goes diving out that window, full speed.
And like, what is he even like standing on? Like, it feels like he's like walking on air through some.
Yes. He's being held by a human being. Like, I'm surprised you didn't see the fingers of the guy holding him when the hammer hit her.
Man, if you guys are looking for logic in these kill scenes, you're going to be real disappointed later on when there's a guy who just can't stop the car that he's in, no matter what. And he's like, I'm going to crash into every obstacle, But it's a fun scene. I like that, the whole babysitter getting pushed out the window part.
It's the best scene in the movie.
After that,
definitely. The dummy that falls out the window is wonderful too.
Yeah.
It's just a very wooden mannequin.
But it gets some spin. That thing rotates quite a few times before it hits the ground.
Yeah.
As you would imagine, the cops suspect the kid to be the killer. Nobody believes Karishma or her brother that this doll is evil. And then, of course, random dance numbers will explode out of nowhere in surprising contexts, including a Bollywood thriller ripoff with a fake Michael Jackson dancing with dozens of ghouls in a graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a fun one at a local carnival, just kind of cool to see what a carnival looked like in India in the 1990s. You get a couple of kung fu fights. You get a ton of dramatic zoom-ins on mildly dramatic moments. It's a pretty wild mix. And I would say maybe the only major problem with this movie is the pacing. It's pretty long. I think it's like 2:15 or something. And I feel like you should probably be able to rip off Child's Play in less time than the original. But the movie just gets caught up in these weird tangents. It's sometimes more concerned with the dramatic romantic entanglements of our lead and whether or not her, husband-to-be's father will approve of their romance or shit like this. And then, of course, the songs. So many songs. But I was having enough fun with these actors and these cool locations and the photography to not be bored ever. And there's also an interesting approach to the dialogue where they will occasionally use English, I think for some kind of dramatic effect, but...
Well, it's interesting you say that, because, we were, you're watching it with subtitles, And yeah, they will be speaking Hindi pretty much throughout, but then they'll add like little English phrases in here and there. And I think that's just a common thing in modern India, because I was doing a little research on this movie and I was watching some YouTube videos where it was people in India reviewing this, and they were doing the same thing, but even more so, where it wasn't just like throwing in English, like little phrases here and there. They were like switching back and forth mid-sentence between like very good, straightforward English, just mixed with the Hindi, like it was like interlaced. It was kind of impressive, but I guess that's kind of a thing.
Well, it's very striking in this movie because it will just be like Hindi, and then some phrase that you've heard. Like it'll just be like blah, 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 blah. And that's the bottom line, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's interesting that they've isolated that's a phrase they want to hold on to.
Well, that's just when Stone Cold was in the film.
Well, true, yeah. I also thought maybe it was a technique they were using so that they could cut like an English language trailer out of this movie. You know, like there's probably enough dialogue that you could weave together a trailer that made it look like there was English in this.
No, I think it's just a thing.
Yeah, maybe it's just how they roll.
Yeah, just a byproduct of being colonized by those salt penises in England.
Maybe more deliberate in its attempt to cash in is the ripping off of characters. I do think this kid is supposed to look like Daniel LaRusso. I don't think it's just an accident that he's got the same exact mullet haircut.
Wow.
And Inspector Vijay has pretty much the same hair and clothing style of Stallone and Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these people seem like they're kind of styled after like famous characters from American movies. So I like that. You know, I like the doll as well. I think
that doll?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, you know, almost any doll could work in this kind of a movie if you shoot it right and you have some spooky sound effects. And they certainly, they shoot it with spooky sound effects. You get a million zooms into this doll's face every time there's some cacophony of screeches underneath, and the fact that he looks so unassuming at the same time. I don't know. I think that's charming as hell. So I'll be honest, you know, I was not in a great mood when I put this movie on. And then when I saw the runtime, I was in an even less good mood. But the movie really won me over. And I think part of it is that it feels so classic. Like, this came out in 96, but it feels like a much older movie. The interiors are all very 1970s, and the way they shot this, it looks like a lot of early 1980s Italian movies. But there is a billboard for Jurassic Park in one scene in the background. So I guess this was shot in 1994, or maybe even later, based on its Indian release date.
Although you would swear it's 1986 if you just at first blush.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is everybody's dressed like the 80s? The photography is very 80s. Their homes are 1970s. Like it's very strange that this is the 90s. But I guess that's what it was like in Udi. You know, I think this is a relatively remote part of India. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, pre-internet culture just worked like slower anyway. You know, like it would take 5 or 10 years for New York and LA fashions to get to Indiana. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Let alone India.
15 or 20 to get to rural India.
Yeah. And overall, you know, I have not seen many Indian movies, and I feel like I would love to get some more recommendations if they have this look and feel, because the few that I have seen didn't really remind me of this at all. So I got to say that.
Oh, really? Because I can think of one that we've done on the show that this really reminds me of.
Oh, the Mahakal?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is a little bit like Mahakal. But anyway.
It's exactly like it. It's got a fucking Michael Jackson impersonator and everything.
Well, that's true. Yeah, fair enough. I still think this is one of the most JFD movies we've seen in a long time. And I think more people should see this. It's only got 400 views on Letterboxd. It's easy to get to now on Tubi, even if you do have to put up with all the shitty ads. But I loved it. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought Papi Gudia was a great time. What did you guys think?
Well, I had never seen Papi Gudia before. despite the fact that I'm a Chucky completist. I've seen all the movies, the remake, the TV show. So I'm glad to finally see this and add my Chucky tag to it on Letterboxd, so it belongs with its family. And I was excited for it. It seemed like, according to some of the Letterboxd reviews, most of them it doesn't get a lot of star ratings, but a lot of people were saying that it's kind of a crazy movie, and I love Mahackle, so I was expecting something like that. Not something exactly like that, but something like that. And so I was looking forward to this. Not so much looking forward to the 2 hour and 15 minute runtime, but by Indian standards, that's pretty short.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of incredible because this movie does in about 25 minutes up to that directed by credit that we talked about. That's all probably the first 7 minutes of the original. And this movie really kind of keeps that pace. It really is. If you've seen, it is very faithful to Child's Play. It's for the most part.
Yeah.
So that extra, and whatever it would be, 45 minutes or whatever, if you're familiar with Child's Play, if you've seen it a lot like I have, you really feel those extra 45 minutes because they really stretch out the Child's Play story. So much so that when it does get to something new and fresh, like the dance, the musical numbers, those were kind of my favorite things because those were things that were not just Child's Play, but worse. Those were new things,
Yeah, and I think they actually did a pretty good job to spread those out across the entire movie and give you a nice kind of interval of story, then song, story, then song.
Yeah. I thought those worked out really well. I really like the one that they do in the TV studio where the kid is there in the audience and Papi Gudia makes him leave to go kill that person on the street. And Papi Gudia and the kid get in the car. Papi Gudia drives somehow to go find this woman. They kill the lady and then they go back. And all this is done within the span of the one song. It's pretty amazing how Papi Gudia bends time to his will. But I like that dance number.
Now, you're calling are you calling the doll Papa Gudia?
Oh, yeah.
Or Papi Gudia?
Yeah.
So I think his name's Channi.
Well, the guy who possesses him, his name is Channi.
Yeah. But I think
Papi Gudia means
doll.
something doll, right?
Yeah. So I think you can call him Papi Gudia.
Yeah, I don't know what Papi means, but I think Gudia is doll, or maybe vice versa. But yeah, I mean, I'm just calling him the titular Papi Gudia, like those titular Star Wars, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not really his name. But I mean, he is some kind of a doll, so based on what the translation of those words are, I think it's accurate to some degree. But
looks like Papi means sinner. So sinner doll. Yeah, he's the sinner doll, right?
Yeah, that works. And I mean, Papi Gudia is such a fucking cool name, anyways. I'm complimenting him by calling him Papi Gudia.
All right.
I mean, Channi's a good name too. Very similar to Chucky.
Call him Young Channi.
Mm-hmm.
Young Channi, of course.
What's interesting is the IMDb trivia says, as from the original film Child's Play, this film also named the doll as Chunky.
Okay.
Interesting all around that trivia fact.
Yep.
Young Chunk.
But yeah, as you guys talked about, the doll is, I don't even know how you spend any time making a movie about a killer doll and you get this doll. It makes everything that Charles Band ever did look like Avatar.
Yeah.
Or like Jurassic Park or some sort of Stan Winston creation. It's just something that they found at a garage sale. It's worthless. But they do minimalize the fact that the doll sucks by having it not really, none of this movie is really even about a killer doll, really, to a large degree. So I guess that's how they mitigate the shitty doll.
Yeah, they introduce it as a concept, and then they don't really do anything with it.
Yeah, not really, no. It's mostly just about, like this lady's music career and
her love life and the fact that she's got to take care of this poor little kid and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly about that. Like with I haven't seen a lot of these Indian movies either, but I've seen a handful of these sort of parody, unofficial remake ones. More so remake than parody. This isn't parody, but I like that. They're kind of throwing everything at the window. Like this has, it's obviously a remake of Young Charles, but then there's the musical stuff, and then there's throwing in the sort of American influenced pop culture stuff, and then there's the romance, and then there's just straight up action sequences in this horror movie. They're just really throwing every genre possible at the screen, and there's something about that I kind of like.
Well, again, and that's Bollywood in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I think that's fun. To just throw so much at the screen and kind of see what sticks. But that's also why these movies are 3 hours long. So I don't know, it's a double-edged sword to some degree. The ending sequence is really fun, like the big showdown with Channi, who they just, spoiler alert, they just kind of give up on the killer doll thing and they just return him to being a dude, which that works, that's fine. The big showdown is fun. This is, I don't know, this is not great. It's mostly boring, especially if you've seen Child's Play. Maybe if you've never seen Child's Play, this would be a lot better because there'd be some twisted turns you wouldn't expect, and they do recreate some of the scenes exactly, like the battery scene. But although they do it very anticlimactically, it doesn't end with young Channi screaming obscenities at this poor lady. I don't know who this is for exactly. If you're a Child's Play fan, you'll probably be pretty bored of this. And if you're not a Child's Play fan, you wouldn't want to watch it anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. But there are some fun scenes. There's some fun sequences in it. So I don't know. Kind of a mixed bag. It's okay. I don't know.
Kind of a mixed bag indeed. Yeah, like I said, this definitely reminded me a lot of Mahakal, which, if you're not familiar, is the Indian kind of ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. And it follows a very similar trajectory where it takes very specific plot elements from the movie that it's ripping off and then weaves that, much like they weave Hindi and English together, they're weaving that in with a lot of traditional kind of Bollywood dance, song and dance numbers, and a romance plot and an action plot, and like you said, just kind of throwing everything at the wall. And in both cases, in both Mahakal and Papi Gudia, I think the result is the same, where it's a cool curiosity. You're psyched to find out about it at first. You're like, holy shit, I can't believe this exists. I can't believe they made an Indian Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't believe they made a Indian Child's Play. And you watch it, and like you said, Parker, there are, I feel like you could chop this down, edit this down to a tight, hell, I'll say 30 minutes, and you could really get all the best stuff out of this. And I think that would still suffice. But yeah, at 2 hours and 10 minutes long, it is punishing. And, I'm not totally dismissing it. I appreciate what they were doing. I appreciate their attempt to recreate various elements of the Child's Play story. But like you said, if you've seen Child's Play, it just seems like a way shittier version of Child's Play. And the dance numbers, there's some that are, very impressive and very fun, and there's, like I said, clearly a lot of money and choreography and things went into these dance numbers, but a lot of times they just feel like they're out of a completely different movie. You're like, wait, did the movie just flip to another movie? What the hell does this have to do with a fucking killer doll? And the answer is it doesn't. Most of the movie has nothing to do with the Channi stuff. There's just a lot of like over the top multi-person choreographed dance numbers, and that's fine. But after a while, like you get into the hour and a half mark, those become less and less welcome. You're just like, let's get this thing wrapped up. But yeah, like I said, I think my favorite parts were anything where the doll killed somebody, which was pretty few and far between. You've got that great babysitter out the window at the beginning, which is hilarious. I think Channi strangles a dude while he's driving, and a few others, but it's pretty few and far between. I liked all the stuff at the end with like the ritual and stuff,
Oh yeah, like the other kind of wizard guy that we meet in the third act.
Yeah, he's awesome. I liked, like you mentioned, that very strange kind of like you said, clearly inspired by Michael Jackson's Thriller, but that haunted house dance with all the skeletons and then the graveyard and stuff. That was really fun. That was by far my favorite musical number of the whole thing. But yeah, it did overstay its welcome, and the doll is so terrible that it is laughable. But as a curiosity, and if you want to say that you've seen every Young Channi feature, you do have to see Papi Gudia. So yeah, I say give it a watch, but you might want to have your finger on the fast forward button to help get through it a little quicker. But you can still have fun with it.
Now, are we at the point where you have seen all of the Chucky movies and the Indian ripoff?
I don't know if I've seen. Yeah, I mean, I've seen most of them, if not all of them.
Oh, Bowman, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've seen the 1993 film Zapat Layla.
Oh, no. I don't think I have.
Oh, that's the Marathi film. It's another Indian Chucky movie that came out before this, inspired Papi Gudia. Actually, what you didn't know, what I didn't know until I just read it on IMDb, Papi Gudia is not a remake of Child's Play. It's a remake of Zapat Layla, which was a remake of Child's Play.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I got some boning up to do.
You guys want to see what the doll from Zapat Layla looks like? I got a picture right here, if you want to click that.
What the hell is this link?
That's not a
You're
link.
giving me a real long-ass link here.
Just search for Zapat Layla, 1993.
How do you even spell something like that?
Trust me, you're going to want to see this guy.
Oh, yeah, this guy looks good. I'd watch that movie. We should have watched 2 hours and 48 minutes. Never mind, I ain't watching shit.
Is it 2 hours and 48 minutes?
Yep.
No, but I've already picked it for next month's JFD.
Well,
I can't undo that.
I mean, the doll looks pretty good. I mean,
Fuck, dude. All right, never mind. I'm undoing this. You and I can watch this. I don't want to subject Kevin to 3 hours of this.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, it looks pretty good, though.
It does. All right, well, that's all I got on the Hindu Young Channi from Papi Gudia. Whether or not we do Zapat Layla at some point, TBD, I guess. But we're going to take a quick break, and then two of these guys will come back to talk about Dragon Ball Superhero. Not me. I won't be there. It's my own OCD that prevented me from engaging in this movie that I didn't have context for. So just wanted to explain to the listener that I will be back next week with JFS. I haven't quit the show, but I won't be on the next review. So
this is some bullshit.
I know Kevin's pissed. So.
I think you owe Kevin a pick because he watched 2 movies because of you this week, and you watched 0.
Well, I don't know if it's because of me, but anyways,
literally because of you. You gave him the wrong movie.
Wow, but I was just being a friend, hooking a friend up with another cool movie to watch that I didn't even watch, if I'm being honest with you. But
yeah, I think you owe Kevin a pick.
Anyways, we'll see if Kevin wins the next video contest I put together. But until next time, this is Senbiro for Papi Gudia saying, we'll be back in a minute.
Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, there's so much to be found.
This world needs a hero.
We agree. The return of the Red Ribbon Army is near!
What if some new world-ending evil shows up?
So, who are you actually after?
Who are you? An old-fashioned superhero. Is that all the power you've got? It won't be enough to win you this fight.
This guy seems to learn his opponent's techniques as he fights. You need to believe in yourself and unleash that power. Everything you've got. No holding back.
Seems we're dealing with quite a formidable foe.
Welcome back to Junk Food Dinner. The final movie this evening is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. This is a 2022 movie directed by Tetsuro Kodama and written by Akira Toriyama, the mastermind behind Dragon Ball. This is one of the last things he worked on before tragically dying a few years ago. And this is the Dragon Ball is a long-standing franchise. It's been around in comics and TV and movies since like the mid-'80s or something like that. And it's gone through a few different iterations. There's Dragon Ball, there's Dragon Ball Z, there's Dragon Ball Super. And there's been movies based on the TV shows and comics. Not many of them are canon. Most of them are just like random nonsense. But the Super ones are canon, and this is the furthest that in animation the story has come to, this movie. I chose it. I mean, I'll give the plot here in a moment, but I chose it because I like Dragon Ball a great deal. I thought that this one would be the one that you guys would, I've been wanting to do a Dragon Ball movie for a while, and I thought this one would be the one. I don't think that you need a ton of context to enjoy the fact that these aliens and robots are fighting a kaiju. I might be wrong. You'll let me know here soon, Kevin.
Okay.
To see how confusing this movie was for you. But I feel like this one's like pretty standalone. It like kind of exists outside of the main story. All the characters here, like the two main characters of the story, are not even in this movie really. So it kind of exists on its own. It's kind of its own little side story. So I thought that it would be kind of easy-ish to follow. And also it would be up your guys' alley being about kaijus and stuff. So, and also I think the animation is cool. In this movie, the Red Ribbon Army, an evil organization that has been hounding the person who is normally the hero, Goku, for years and years and years, has returned. They seek out a little kid, not a little kid, but a young man named Dr. Hedo, who they want to start building evil androids for them so that they can take out our heroes, who they believe are villains, and take over the world. The Dr. Hedo agrees to do this, not because he wants to work with the Red Ribbon Army, but because he's a big fan of making androids, for one, and also a big fan of superheroes. So the androids he makes, he fashions them after superheroes. And Akira Toriyama himself wanted to evoke with these two characters, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, like Kamen Rider and Ultraman and stuff like that. So they're kind of based on that. And then while that's going on, our man Piccolo is finding out about all this stuff. He runs into the one of the robots. He starts to uncover their plan. He tries to get his adopted son Gohan to join him in foiling the plot, but Gohan is studying and stuff. So there's a lot of wacky comedy with Piccolo, who's normally a very stoic character, kind of doing wacky spy stuff and relaying that spy stuff to his friends via his little kitty cat phone, which is very funny for him to have because he used to be a demon king. And now he talks to, he babysits like a little girl and talks to her with this kitty phone, and it's very funny. But yeah, so Piccolo and Gohan have to stop these robots, stop the Red Ribbon Army, and do so before a giant kaiju emerges and tries to kill everybody. That's basically the plot. A lot of other weird stuff kind of happens in this. There's tangents, there's weird things. But most importantly, there's a lot of fighting. Piccolo and the robots fight. Gohan and the robots fight. Cell Max, who's the kaiju, shows up, and pretty much all the other characters show up to stop him that weren't in the movie at that point. And there's even an aside where Goku, who is normally the hero of this franchise, fights Vegeta on a planet for no reason, just to include him a little bit and to throw in another fight scene. I think this is fun. It's very funny. The Dragon Ball Super movies are pretty funny, except for maybe one of them. And that's kind of what I like about this series. I like the animation. This is the first one that's mostly CG and then kind of cell shaded to look 2D. And I think it looks really good. It's probably not the best looking of these super movies, but I think it's a really cool, interesting style, and it allows the camera to fly around these characters while they're fighting in very fun and dynamic ways. So yeah, I like this. Hopefully this, for you, Kevin, is not a complete bust where you just had no idea what was going on and you had no context. But like I said, I was hoping that you would enjoy watching aliens and robots fight kaijus. So did that happen?
Well, we can discuss that. But first I want to say, why is Sean not joining us? I don't get it.
Well, he's afraid he won't have the context to get this because it is, technically the 14th Dragon Ball Z movie that comes after 2 entire TV shows. And then also, this is the last thing Akira Toriyama worked on, and Sean was also afraid that he would not appreciate the last work of a great genius by watching it out of order. So he's elected, much like when we do Star Trek, he has elected to just not worry about it at all and just not do it.
Okay. I didn't know that was an option. I could have opted out of Oogie Loves.
I know. I can't believe I watched Workmeister Harmonies in Beach 24.
I know. I thought we were in an agreement here.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's not like I picked a Ghoul summer movie. This is a movie I thought that you guys would enjoy. And he knows he watches Dragon Ball, so he has more context than you, but...
Much more.
Yeah. And I mean, not to go too inside baseball, but we do pick our movies a month in advance. I mean, he could have mentioned it before yesterday, but what? Yeah. I didn't know it was an option to just not do a movie. But.
All right. Well, I knew you guys were talking about stuff in the Discord, and you'll have to forgive me because, as you stated, I am not a Dragon Ballsman whatsoever. Sean put a fake Dragon Ball movie in our shared folder, I guess as a joke, but I was like, all right, I guess this is the movie we're watching, and I watched it. I don't know what was that it was like an early 90s live action Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, he put that one in because he was hoping that I would change my mind and pick that movie, which if I mean, I probably would have if I knew he had this much of a problem with it, but yeah, that's a live action version of the first 50 episodes or whatever. I have not seen that one, but yeah, it's kind of a live action version of the OG show.
All right. Well, and again, you guys are talking about, whatever, the director of this film and whatnot. I'm not following any of it, so I didn't realize that there was like a legitimate gripe on Sean's part. I thought he was just, just fooling around. But
yeah,
all right,
he was being silly, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I watched this movie and the other movie.
Well, hopefully the other one gave you a little bit of context, although that one's mostly about Goku, who's not in this movie, so maybe it didn't help you at all. But
yeah, it helped zero.
Okay.
The other thing that didn't help is, like I mentioned when we were talking about Felidae, when it comes to the animated stuff, I don't mind the dub. In fact, many times I would prefer the dub, especially in something like this, where there's a lot of action on screen. But I think the only way to get the English version is to sign up for Crunchyroll, which I wasn't looking to do. So I just rented this on Amazon, but it was only in Japanese with English subtitles. So that didn't help. So I'm watching a movie I have really no context for, and it's all in Japanese with subtitles, and there's a ton of stuff going on screen. So at a certain point, I just start watching the movie and ignoring the subtitles and just like, maybe I can put this together, but I couldn't.
No. I would have given you my Crunchyroll password. Now I feel bad.
Oh, that's all right. But so yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of context of what was going on with this. So it did make it a little difficult to follow. But I will say what I liked about it. So first and foremost, I thought the animation did look good. I did like the way that it was clearly computer animated, but it did have that 2D look to it. Some of the time, it did feel a little video gamey to me, especially in like some of the fight scenes and stuff. It just had like I felt like I was just hanging out with people watching them play a video game rather than watching a movie. But that being said, for the most part, I thought the animation looked very good. I liked the design, and again, here's where I might need a little context. For the guy that for the two like main bad guys, the Dr. Hedo and the like kind of gangster guy that hires him, they had a weird design where like they have like big heads and like smaller bodies, which is not common for the other characters. Is that like on purpose? I mean, obviously it's on purpose, but I mean, are they like is that how they draw like just regular humans in this world?
Sometimes, yeah. Some of the humans are like a little stockier. I think it's mostly because those guys in this movie are sort of comedy characters to a large degree, so they just kind of gave them sillier proportions.
They were my favorite, and probably just because of the comedy elements. I don't know. For whatever reason, I could connect with those a little bit more, and I could tell the humor that they were going for. Because a lot of the...
Sorry to interrupt, but that also probably makes sense a little bit too, because those characters, like, they're new to this movie, so they spend a lot of time introducing them, and they kind of just throw you in with Piccolo and Gohan and stuff. So that makes sense probably for somebody who's never seen any of the other stuff, because they do give you a lot of time to like know those characters up front.
Yeah. So for the rest of it, I mean, like I said, there was quite a bit of time when I was just like, all right, I'm just going to enjoy the visual stylings that are being presented to me and not really worry about the context or the hows or the whys. And like I said, it was like very nice to look at. I thought it all looked good, but it did get to a point where I was like, okay, I really have no fucking clue what's going on here. Just visual stuff that I also liked. Again, I don't know any of the characters' names, but there was one guy that was like, he had like the Ultraman like helmet and the kind of like Rocketeer old school style costume. You know who I'm talking about?
Is he a guy who like shows up at the very end, a little short guy?
No, he's I think he's maybe the robot that the Dr. Hedo creates.
Oh yeah, one of the gray guys with like the fins on his head.
Yeah.
Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, those guys. Yeah.
I like the design of that.
Yeah, those guys are cool. Yeah, those are the androids that are made by Dr. Hedo. Yeah, those are the guys I mentioned that are the artist sort of based these guys on Ultraman and Kamen Rider and stuff.
And then Cellmax, is that the big boss dude?
Yeah, that's the kaiju guy.
He's cool, so I like him.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would like that guy at least.
Yeah, and I liked there was some scenes with like actual dragons. Briefly, those dragons looked cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, it was more it was a lot of that. Like, oh, that looks cool. I like the design of that character. That background looks nice. And yeah, some of the fights kind of reminded me of like Heavy Metal magazine. You know, some of the more like the stuff that like kind of went into space and shit. So that was cool. Kind of had a fun psychedelic cosmic vibe to it. I didn't really understand the context of the little girl who was, I guess, like a future Dragon Ball or something. Dragon Ball in training.
Yeah, she is basically Piccolo, the green guy, his like adopted granddaughter.
Yeah.
He's like Gohan's mentor and she's Gohan's daughter. So yeah, they're basically a family.
I like the way that Piccolo guy held the like Hello Kitty cell phone when he talked on it. That was funny.
Yep.
He holds it with like 2 fingers, like it's, you know, I don't know. It's funny. Like someone who doesn't know how to hold a cell phone, so that's cool. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know jack shit about Dragon Ball Z. Never seen a single episode. I know it's popular amongst folks our age and younger. But for whatever reason, I just was never really into it. This does kind of fall into that segment of anime that, you know, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not really for me. It's just a little too, I mean, it's just a little too anime-y. You know, it's like a little too cutesy, a little too just fighting aliens, robots, just fighting. And I don't know. I like the anime that I tend to enjoy is stuff that's a little bit more grounded in somewhat reality. I don't know. I feel like my dad, whenever I watch anime like this, I'm just like, I don't get this shit. What are these kids into these days? It's kind of similar how I feel about like Marvel stuff a lot of times. Like I appreciate that it, you know, the spectacle of it, and I obviously recognize that a lot of people worked very hard on it, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't click with me. But that being said, visually very fun to look at. I do like the design of it. I was kind of lost through most of it, but overall, I still enjoyed what I saw. So I didn't have a terrible time with it. But again, the overall experience to me again was like, you know, just sitting around watching your buddies play a video game that you've never played before and just being like, oh, this is cool. Oh, nice graphics.
Well, yeah. It does have that feel to it a little bit. I think the CG animation kind of gives it that a little bit too.
Yeah. For some reason, it kept reminding me. Do you remember that game, Beautiful Joe?
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that for some reason.
Yeah, the cell shadedness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
what did you think, Sean? Oh,
it's already late and I'm so sleepy.
Yeah, all right.
That's what he has to say. Well, I think Sean would probably like it once he catches up to this. So, yeah. All right. Well, that wraps it up for Dragon Ball Superhero. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to gather all 7 Dragon Balls and call forth Shenron, the Great Dragon, to ask him for a wish. So
All right, well, that just about wraps it up for episode number 697 of Junk Food Dinner. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. If you like the show, make sure you visit our website, junkfooddinner.com, for all your favorite episodes easily chronicled for your listening pleasure. Also, obviously, subscribe to us on all your favorite podcast listening software. And for up-to-the-minute JFD news and happenings, the best place is to join us in the Discord. Go to Discord, search for Junk Food Dinner. There you will find the community of all your fellow junk food junkies hanging out, talking shit, living it up. So make sure you join us in there. If you'd like to have your voice heard on the show, give us a call on the Junk Food Dinner voicemail line at 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. You can also send us an email at jfdpodcast@gmail.com. But where's the fun in that? Let your voice be heard. Next month on Junk Food Dinner, we are going to be taking a look at Pin from 1989, Tickle Me from 1965, and Diva in the Netherworld from 1980. So make sure you tune in for that. And while you wait for that next episode of Junk Food Dinner to show up, you can also listen to weekly episodes of Junk Food Supper, where Parker and Sean hang out, talk about movies, as long as they agree to the terms, of course. So make sure you tune in for that.
Got to get it in writing from the next time you watch the movie.
Yeah. So until next time, this is Kevin Moss for Parker Bowman and Sean Byron, wherever you are, saying adios, everybody. We will see you next time.